The sound came first, like the sky breaking apart. Ava didn't even get a chance to scream. The ship spun out of control. Lights flashed red. Alarms screamed. Something exploded behind her. She hit the floor hard and everything went black. When she opened her eyes. Smoke filled her lungs. She coughed. Couldn't breathe. She reached out blindly, her fingers scraping metal. Then, a strong hand grabbed her arm, pulled her up, lifted her like she weighed nothing. The air outside the ship was hot, dry, and sharp with dust. Ava blinked against the harsh sunlight. The one pulling her out wasn't human. He was tall, almost 7 feet. His skin a deep bronze, his arms covered in smooth armor that wasn't metal. His eyes, black and glowing faintly, met hers for a second. "Stay low," he said. "We're not safe here." Then he carried her. Ava didn't argue. Her leg was bleeding, her head throbbed. Her ship, their ship, was burning in the distance, half buried in a cracked red hill. The alien, Kirox, that was his name, she remembered, took her behind a large boulder. Only then did he set her down gently. "Breathe. You're alive." She tried. Her throat felt like sand. "Water." Kirox handed her a small canister. It tasted strange, but it worked. They sat in silence for a while, just breathing. The desert planet around them was too quiet. No birds, no clouds, just heat waves and broken land. "Is anyone else alive?" she asked finally. Kirox shook his head. No signal, no movement, no life signs. Ava closed her eyes. She had been the pilot. Kirox was part of the alien security unit assigned to the cargo mission. They had been transporting supplies through a neutral zone. Nothing dangerous, but something had gone wrong. Was it an attack, she asked. Unknown, power failure, then internal detonation. Someone did this. Yes. Hours passed. Kirox built a shade with broken metal and thermal cloth. Ava's leg was wrapped now. Not perfect, but she could stand if needed. The sun began to set. The sky turned from white to gold to deep purple. Still no rescue came. No signal. Nothing. Ava looked up at Kirox as he worked silently nearby, adjusting a broken transmitter. "You think they'll find us?" He didn't look up. "No." "What do you mean?" "We were far off course. The ship never sent a final ping. Our black box is fried. So, we're stranded." Kirox finally met her eyes. "Yes." Ava stood slowly. Her leg ached. She looked out at the desert again. It stretched forever in every direction. No green, no water, just sand, rock, and death. The silence pressed on her chest like a weight. "This isn't how I die," she thought. "This isn't where it ends." She turned back to Kirox. "We'll survive." He raised a brow. "You sound sure." "I have to be." He gave a short nod. "Then we start moving at dawn." "Where?" "Away from the crash, somewhere we can hide. This planet's rotation suggests temperature drop after sundown." "Freezing?" "Very." That night, Ava lay under the shelter beside Kirox. They didn't speak much. She watched. The stars through the cracks in the fabric. They looked the same from here. But everything else had changed. Her ship was gone. Her mission was over. And her only ally was someone not even from her species. But when she looked at him, quiet, focused, always watching the dark, she didn't feel afraid. She felt something else. Hope. A strange kind. A quiet kind, but real. She whispered, "Thank you." Kirox didn't look at her. "For what?" "Pulling me out." "I didn't do it to be thanked." "Why then?" He was quiet for a while, then finally said, "Because I didn't want to be alone." By morning, the heat returned. It hit like a hammer. Dry air. Sharp light. No shade for miles. Kirox scanned the horizon with a handheld device. The results were not good. No water. No known life. No oxygen-rich pockets. Ava limped up beside him, her legs still sore. What does it say? We have 6 days of breathable air, maybe 7 if we stay completely still. And if we don't? 4, maybe less. Ava ran a hand through her dusty hair. That's not a lot of options. No, Kirok said flatly, it's not. Back at the crash site, they salvaged what they could. Ava worked on a damaged transmitter while Kirok took apart an oxygen regulator. They laid parts out on flat rocks like surgeons preparing for surgery. Any chance we can repair the comms? Ava asked. Not likely, the power core is fractured. What about the water recycler? Cracked beyond repair. So we're doing great, she muttered. Hours passed. Ava's hands were covered in dust and grease. Her throat was dry. Her head pounded. Kirok didn't slow down. He worked like a machine, precise, focused, never wasting a movement. But Ava noticed the way his shoulders sagged slightly. He was tired too. When do your kind start showing fatigue? She asked, wiping her forehead. About now. He didn't stop. She smiled. Nice to know I'm not the only one feeling like death. You are stronger than you appear. And you're a better liar than I expected. He looked at her. That was not a lie. That night the temperature dropped fast. The desert turned to ice. They huddled together in the cave they'd found. Small, dry, hidden under a rock overhang. Ava wore a heat wrap. Kirok didn't need one. His species could tolerate cold better, but he still offered her his outer cloak. She hesitated, then accepted. Thanks. You will not last without warmth. You're not worried about yourself? I will last. You will not. She looked at him for a moment. You say that, like it matters more. He didn't answer. But he didn't look away. The next day they tried again. Kirok managed to convert a broken filtration tube into a slow oxygen siphon. It would only add a few more hours, but it was something. Ava watched him work, fascinated. You're good at this. My people adapt or die. Same here, just slower. He glanced at her. You are faster than most humans I've met. You haven't met enough. As they finished setting up a basic solar cell, Ava suddenly slumped. Kirok rushed over. What's wrong? Dizzy, just a little. She sat down, breathing hard. Could be heat. Could be not enough air. Placed a hand on her back. His skin was warm, calm. Slow your breathing. You are panicking. I don't panic. Then this is a very calm collapse. She laughed weakly. You really are a smartass. He tilted his head. Is that a compliment? Yes. That night, she didn't sleep much. The stars above them were too still, too distant. They won't find us in time, she thought. Then she heard him speak, quiet, from the other side of the cave. I lost my brother in a crash like this. She looked over. I'm sorry. He was older, stronger, I was the weak one. He used his last breath to shield me from a fire. A long silence followed. Then Ava said, Then I'm guessing he'd be proud of you right now. Kirok didn't answer, but for the first time, she saw his expression soften. In the dark, Ava whispered, We'll survive. We have to. Kirok replied, Then we must keep moving. Tomorrow we head east. There is a canyon ridge. It may offer shelter or danger. Good, she said. I'm tired of waiting to die. So am I. The oxygen was running out, but something else was building, something stronger. Not just survival, connection. The wind came without warning. 1 second, the sky was calm. The next, sand filled the air like a wave of fire and glass. Ava had just finished placing the last power cell into the emergency beacon when the wind slammed her flat. She shouted, but the sound was lost. Kirok pulled her up fast. Inside. Now. They ran, blinded, stumbling, as the beacon snapped in half behind them, ripped from its base by the storm. Inside the cave, it was pitch black. Dust poured in like smoke. Kirox dropped, a heavy blanket over the entrance, sealing it shut. The storm roared outside, inside. Silence returned, except their breathing, heavy, shaking. Alive. Ava coughed hard, wiping her face. Is it gone? Kirox listened, then nodded. We've lost the beacon. She sat down against the cold wall. So that was it. The last signal. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. They lit a dim light panel. Kirox checked her for wounds. Small cuts, dust in her eyes, nothing serious, but Ava looked hollow, empty. She stared at the floor for a long time. That beacon was our last chance. Yes. You're not going to tell me everything's fine? No. A weak laugh escaped her. At least you're honest. The wind outside howled like a beast. The cave was narrow, barely enough. Space to lie down side by side. Kirox unpacked a ration and handed her half. She stared at it, didn't move. Eat, he said. Your body still has work to do. For what? She muttered. To breathe dust tomorrow? To live. One more day. She took the food, but didn't eat it. Time passed in silence. The air grew colder. Kirox sat up. The thermal pack between them, Ava shivered anyway. He noticed. You're freezing. Yeah, a little. He moved closer, unrolling his cloak. Use this. You need it too. My body runs hotter. She hesitated, then let him pull the cloak over both of them. They sat shoulder to shoulder, breathing the same thin air. Ava whispered, Did you ever think it would end like this? Kirox shook his head. I thought I would die in battle. Or orbit, not next to a human in a hole. She chuckled, weak and dry. You don't talk like other soldiers. You don't act like other humans. She looked up at him. His glowing black eyes reflected the soft light. You're not afraid? She asked. I am. You don't show it. Because you do. She blinked. You're calm because I panic? We balance. A few minutes passed. Then Ava said quietly, I was engaged once, years ago, before I joined the fleet. Kirox looked at her. What happened? He wanted a quiet life, earth gardens, pets. I wanted stars. She exhaled. He said I was running from something. I said he was standing still. Was he right? Maybe. Doesn't matter now. The storm screamed louder. The cave trembled slightly. Ava leaned against Kirox without thinking. His warmth soaked into her skin. He didn't move away. You okay with this? She whispered. Yes. Why? Because if I die tonight, I don't want to die alone. She nodded slowly. Me neither. They stayed like that for hours, shoulders touching, hands almost brushing. Two souls who were nothing to each other just days ago, now clinging to the same breath, the same hope, and, in that silence, in that storm, something changed. Not with words, but with closeness, with trust. The storm had passed, but it left behind silence and danger. Ava stepped outside the cave first. The sand was no longer blowing, but strange shapes had been left behind, spiral holes in the ground like something had crawled up or out. Kirox followed close behind. Stay near me, he said. No argument here, Ava replied. They had gone only 10 steps when she felt the sting. A sharp, hot pain on the back of her neck. She slapped it. Something small and black crunched under her fingers. She dropped it. It was like a spider, but not. Its legs were thick, its mouth had fangs, and her skin, it burned. She gasped and fell to her knees. Ava! Kirox dropped beside her. Her vision blurred. Heat raced through her veins. Her breath came in short, fast bursts. It bit me. Kirox lifted her hair. The skin around the bite was glowing red, veins turning violet. His face darkened. It's a blood poisoner native. I've seen it once before. You know a cure? Only my kind can counter it. How? She choked. Through touch. Then do it. He paused. If I transfer my field to you, it could change you. She looked at him, sweating, shaking. Then change me. Just don't let me die. Kirox nodded. He removed his gloves. His hands glowed faintly now, the skin smoother than human, like polished stone. His fingers pressed gently against her neck. Ava gasped again, not from pain, but from heat. It wasn't burning now, it was melting the pain away. She felt the warmth travel down her spine. Her heartbeat slowed, her eyes focused, and then she felt him, his energy, not just touch, but presence, entering her. She shivered, not in fear, but in something else, something she couldn't name. Kyrox's brow furrowed. Your body is adapting faster than expected. Is that bad? It means you're not just healing. You're connecting. Ava reached up, placing a hand on his wrist. I don't care what it means. Just don't stop. He didn't. Not until the last trace of the purple lines faded from her skin. She collapsed into his arms, breathing hard but steady. He caught her, held her, supported her like she weighed nothing. Her eyes met his. You saved me. I reacted. Don't lie. You chose to save me. He didn't answer, but he didn't let go either. They sat together on the cave floor. Neither spoke for a while. Then Ava whispered, You said touching me might change me. Yes. What if it already did? He looked into her eyes. Then we are both changed. That night she didn't sleep far from him. She moved closer than before, closer than caution should allow. Their hands touched once in the dark, and neither pulled away. She dreamed of warmth, of stars blinking through, a soft sky, of a voice in the dark saying, You are not alone anymore. Ava woke to the sound of her own heartbeat, fast, hard, wrong. She sat up slowly, the cave spinning around her. The world felt heavier than it did yesterday. Her hands were shaking. Her skin felt hot. Kirox turned quickly from the cave entrance. You're awake. Something's off, Ava whispered. I feel dizzy. You were stable last night. Yeah, well, I'm not now. She leaned forward, holding her head. It's like my blood's not mine anymore. Kirox walked closer, kneeling beside her. Lie down. I'll scan you. He placed a small orb against her chest. It glowed softly and hummed. He frowned. What is it? She asked. He didn't answer right away. Kirox? He looked into her eyes, slowly, carefully. There are 2 heartbeats. Ava blinked. I'm sorry, what? Yours. And another. You mean like some alien parasite? No. He stood up, breathing deep, his face unreadable. A second life. Inside you. That's not possible. Not supposed to be. You and I, we're not even the same species. Kirox was silent, then said, My healing gift is not just healing, it's bonding. Sometimes, under certain conditions, it shares more than energy. Are you saying, he nodded once, you are pregnant? The silence hit harder than the storm ever did. Ava didn't move, didn't blink, just sat there frozen in time. No, this can't be real. But it is. This is crazy. Yes. I don't even remember. She trailed off. Her face flushed. The cave. That night. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. They both remembered how close they were, how energy moved between them, how her body welcomed his. She stood up, fast, stumbled. Kirox caught her before she fell. Careful. Why didn't you warn me? I didn't know it could happen with humans. It has never happened before. Then why me? He paused. Because you were open. Your body, your spirit, your will to live. We connected. Deeper than anything I've known. Ava looked at him, still pale. And now I'm carrying something not even science thought was possible. They sat again, quieter this time. Ava touched her stomach. Nothing showed yet. No bump. No sign. But she felt it now. Something new inside her. Something alive. I don't know how to feel, she whispered. Then don't decide now. What if it's not human? It won't be. What if it's not anything? Kirox looked at her gently. Then it will still be ours. Ava stared at the fire, eyes glassy. Back home, they'll call this unnatural. Then we don't go back yet. And if they come looking, they'll have to go through. For the first time since she woke, Ava smiled. It wasn't full, but it was real. You know, for a guy who doesn't say much, you're pretty good with words. Only when it matters. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Slow, uncertain, but real. What if I'm not ready? You will be. How do you know? He touched her hand gently. Because I already am. Outside, the wind had stopped. Inside, the cave was quiet. But in that silence, a new life had begun, and two hearts beat as three. The ground shook. Again. Harder this time. Kirox pressed his hand to the cave wall. It was warm. Too warm. Ava stood behind him, one hand on her lower belly. What now? Something under us is rising, Kirox said. Lava flow, maybe. Volcanic. Shift. Ava exhaled. This planet really hates us. Or it's testing you. Testing me? I'm carrying a half-human miracle in a death cave. Exactly. A sharp crack echoed outside. They rushed to the mouth of the cave. The hill they had camped on last week. Gone. A black line split the earth where it once stood. Smoke hissed out, red light glowing deep inside. We need to move, Kirox said. Where? South Ridge, higher ground. We can't outrun lava. We don't have to, we just have to stay ahead of it. They packed fast. No time for full supplies. Ava tried to lift her satchel, but her strength faltered. Kirox took it from her. No words, no judgment. I can still walk, Ava said. I know, and I'll still carry this. They moved fast across broken rock. Every few steps, Ava's breath caught. The heat was heavier now. Her body wasn't keeping up like it used to, but she didn't complain. Not once. A sudden wind rose from the east. It wasn't normal wind. It smelled like acid. Kirox turned his face up. Rain. Toxic. He grabbed a small shield tarp from his back and wrapped it around her shoulders. Cover your face. What about you? My skin can take it. That's not fair. It's not about fair. It's about keeping you alive. Raindrops fell, hissing, eating tiny holes into the dry ground. Ava kept moving. Kirox stayed close behind her. At one point, she tripped, knee hitting sharp stone. Blood. She hissed in pain. Kirox moved to help, but she waved him off. I'm fine. I've bled worse. You are injured. I'm pregnant, not broken. He stared at her. Her eyes were fierce now, the look of someone who wasn't just surviving anymore, but fighting. They reached the ridge by nightfall, exhausted, shaking, safe, for now. Kirox built a fast shelter with salvaged metal sheets and energy clamps. Ava sat on a flat stone, wiping sweat from her face. Her whole body ached. But inside, she felt fire. I won't lose this baby, not here. Not to this planet. Kirox sat beside her, silently watching the sky. You pushed harder than I thought possible, he said. You doubted me? No, I just didn't expect you to be stronger than me. She smiled, tired but proud. Guess motherhood brings out new levels. He looked at her belly, still flat, but alive. Your child will be something new. Our child, she corrected. He nodded slowly. Yes, ours. Ava leaned her head against his shoulder. You know what scares me most? What? That no one will understand this when we get out. Then we don't need them to. You're okay with that? I'm okay. With you. Outside, the planet rumbled again. But inside their tiny shelter, there was peace. No promises. No lies. Just two survivors. And one unborn miracle who refused to stop growing. The sky cracked with light. Not lightning, not a storm, but something smooth. Controlled. Kyrox stood outside the shelter, eyes fixed upward. Ava limped beside him, hand over her growing belly. That's a ship, she said. He nodded once. Human. Markings. You think they're here for us? We're the only ones left. The ship hovered low over the ridge. A landing ramp extended, kicking dust in every direction. A voice echoed from the speakers. Human survivor detected. Please confirm identity. Ava stepped forward, her voice cracked but held strong. Lieutenant Ava Monroe, Pilot Fleet Unit 9. Confirmed, prepare for extraction. Two rescue officers stepped out, helmets shining, white suits clean. One of them paused at the sight of Kyrox. What is that doing here? Ava's eyes narrowed. That is the reason I'm alive. He's not registered under human protocol, and I'm not going anywhere without him. They stared at her. One officer stepped closer. Ma'am, you've been out here for 3 months. Protocol says we extract human survivors and return them for medical. Aliens are to be observed, contained, forgotten. She shook her head. No, not this one, not him. She turned to Kyrox. You don't have to come, but I'm not leaving you. Kyrox blinked slowly. You would stay here? For me? I'd stay here for us. The rescue crew exchanged nervous glances. This isn't regulation. Ava looked them dead in the eye. Neither is surviving a poison storm, lava cracks, and a hybrid pregnancy. But I'm here. He's here. And we're not a mistake. Silence. Then, fine, the officer said. He comes too. But this goes straight to command. Let them read the report, Ava said. Word for word, she turned to Kyrox. You okay with this? Where you go, he said. I go. She smiled. They boarded the ship. Ava walked slowly, one hand on her stomach, the other in Kyrox's. As they rose into the stars, she looked down at the red planet, her prison, her test, her beginning. 2 months later, Earth Colony Dock, 7 Ava sat in a quiet room, waiting. Her hands rested gently on her now round belly. Across from her, a human doctor and an alien biologist stared at her latest scan. It's healthy, the doctor whispered. Half human, half whatever he is. This has never happened, the biologist said. It has now, Ava replied. Kyrox entered, silent as always. He sat beside her, his arm brushing hers. She leaned on him. They still think this shouldn't exist, she said. Then we'll prove them wrong. Later, in the open gardens of the colony, the two walked slowly. No armor, no warnings, just stars above and soft wind. Ava looked up. We didn't choose each other. No, Kyrox said. The planet chose us. She smiled. Then I'm glad it tried to kill me. He raised a brow. That's dark. So is love. He touched her belly. But life is light. In a world that didn't expect them to survive, they didn't just live.